Hi guys, Dorothy here with another DIY today. I know I had showed on Facebook last night in the Facebooking group just drinking some of the homemade doilies I had made, and so I sort of been playing around with that, and I had actually came across a tutorial that had doing it out of tissue paper, and I don't know if you can see that. I liked it, but it just seemed extremely flimsy for me. Now it does have a shiny coating, which I really like, but it's just too, I mean, it's just extremely fragile and really thin and see-through, so I wasn't too keen on that. So I gave it a try. I came up with this out of paper, but it was a torn edged. It's okay, but didn't really like it. So then I started experimenting with coffee filters. Ignore the numbers, that was where I was doing a dye testing, and it came out, and I really liked it. Like the way it looks. I think it looks more closer maybe to like a store-bought doily. And of course, if it's a coffee filter, you can dye it to whatever color you want it to be, which I liked that fact. So I sort of played around with it, and you know, these booklets are the rage right now. Of course, it's not decorated, but you know, I sort of really like that. And then of course you can ink it, and it looks really great when you ink it. So I really like the coffee filter. But I'm going to show you several different ways. So first I'll show you with the coffee filter. Now, if you want white, I would suggest, this is just my thought, I would dip it in water and wet it, and then lay it out on your cookie sheet flat and bake it just like you do when you're tea dyeing or coffee dyeing, or lay it, you know, on your ironing board with parchment paper over top of it, iron it flat just to get out the wrinkles around the side, but you don't have to. Actually, this one I didn't, and so it sort of gives it a 3D raised effect, where like if I use the yellow one where it's been dyed and dried, see, it lays a lot more flatter. So I mean, it just sort of depends the look that you like. Okay, so this is pretty simple. Make sure I'm in frame. Okay, you're gonna meet the edges up, fold it in half, reach over, fold it in half. And you can use tissue paper with this, for this, like I said. It's just extremely thin. So you're going to have it in quarters. You're going to fold it into an eighth. And I've been dyeing, so. Then you're going to fold it one more time into a 16th. So you don't have to worry about the edges because it's already rounded. Now, at this point, you have two options. You can actually use like a border punch. You know, for a decorative border. That's what I did on the tissue paper one. It sort of gave me that. And you can do that, feel free to do that. I personally don't like that as well. So then you're going to take your scissors. You can use scissors, you can use pinking shears, you can use hole punches just for random holes in it if you want to. Like here. And like here. So, you know, if you were in school and you made snowflakes, you know, you'll be able to fly through this. This is nothing. So I just take and cut, you know, whatever kind of border you want on the outside. You know, you can do, you know, whichever way, all kinds of different ways, I think, today. And you can make it, you know, as close to the edge or as far away from the edge as you want. You know, that's just gonna depend on the size that you know, that's gonna affect the size of your doily. So the, you know, the farther, closer you get to the edge, the bigger. You know, if you come down here, then you're gonna have, you know, your little doilies. If you want to figure out, you know, how big you want your doily to be, you're just gonna take your ruler and, you know, like if you want a 3-inch doily, then, you know, you're gonna put your tip at 1.5. And you know, you need to put your loop, you know, start doing your decorative edge there. If you want a 4-inch doily, then you're going to do it at 2. You know, so like right now, mine is going to be about 1, 2, 3, 3.5. So it's going to be 7 inches across when I get done. Okay. So I have that. So then you just come in here and just like when you made snowflakes when you were a kid, you're just gonna do random shapes, and you can zigzag and turn. You can do triangles if you want, although I think the circles are prettier. Now one thing you do need to pay attention to, I know you can see it on here, you need to make sure you get through all of the layers, because if you leave a layer unopened, then it's not going to go all the way through. It's going to look sort of random and your pattern's going to be broken. I was trying to find sort of like on this one, you know, where there's random places where the, like here in the middle where the circles met, because, and you want to make sure it's like folded pretty closely. So you just randomly cut your little circle. Let's say I go all the way out to here for this one, and you just turn it as you go. And then let's come up here and do one right here at the top. And you know, you don't have to do, you can do triangles and squares and, you know, whatever shape you want to. So you just call it quits there so I can sort of show you. Let me put all this stuff to the side because that's what we're going to be doing. I'll have paper everywhere. So then when you unfold it, you can sort of, just like snowflakes when you made them in school. So there you've got your decorative doily. Yes, it's not store-bought, but it's, if you have, you know, you need one at home really fast, you don't have one, you know, and you're in a lurch, or, you know, you just want to do fully homemade, or if you're in a challenge and you can only use things in your house, you know, this really helps because, hey, you can have a doily. You made it out of a coffee filter, so it works. So there's an example of that. So that's out with a coffee filter. Then I'm going to start with the music paper. So if you have a coffee filter, you're already starting circular, so you don't have to worry so much about that. If you don't have one, then you're going to want to start with a square. So you need to just, you know, and it doesn't have to be perfect because you're going to be cutting this off, so it doesn't matter. So you're just going to fold until you get yourself a square. I don't want to do an extremely large one, so that's why I was ripping this down. So again, it doesn't have to be completely straight. Let me get rid of all this little odds and ends over here. Okay, so you got your square. So again, you're going to fold it in half, just like you did the round. You're going to fold it in half again. Okay, so here is where you're going to be able to tell if, you know, it's going to, you'll be able to take the crooked off. Then you're going to fold it over. Cut the excess off. Then you're going to fold it over one more time. And the thicker your paper, the harder it is to cut. So like, you can use tea-dyed paper, or coffee-dyed paper, whatever, you know, whatever your wrapping paper. Actually, wrapping paper would probably work very well because it has that coating. It's sort of shiny and it's thicker. You know, I may have to try that. So, okay, so again, in half, in quarters, in half, in half. If you unfold it, you'll see it sort of has this triangular shape. That's going to be your circle in a minute. So now you're going to do your decorative edge on there. And you can do that, you know, however you want. And then just take your scissors and just like you did